What if I told you there's a temple in India where the goddess actually has periods? Where there's no statue to pray to, just a bleeding stone? Where the river turns blood red for exactly 3 days every year? Today, I'm going to answer the most shocking questions about Kamakya temple that nobody talks about openly. Why does a goddess bleed for 3 days every June? Why is there no statue, only a rock shaped like a woman's private part? How does white cloth turn red in a sealed room where nobody can enter? Why do 25 lakh people come to collect the period blood as offering? Which demon king built this temple and why was he in love with the goddess? Why do animals walk to their own death here? Is it true that women who can't have babies get pregnant after visiting? Why can't the Kochi royal family look at this temple even today? And the biggest question, why does science fail to explain what happens here? By the end of this video, you'll understand why Kamakya is not just India's most mysterious temple, but also the most powerful Shakti Pita in the world. Let's start with the biggest mystery that makes even scientists speechless. Every year in June, something happens in Assam that sounds impossible, but lakhs of people have seen it. The goddess has periods. And I'm not talking about stories or symbols. I'm talking about real blood that people see, touch, and take home as offering. For exactly 4 days, usually June 22 to June 26th, the temple completely shuts down. No prayers, no visitors, not even the priest enter the main prayer room. Because inside, the goddess is going through her monthly period. The Devi Bhagavata Purana tells us during these days, Mother Earth herself has periods. That's why it's called Ambubachi, meaning the water speaks. Here's what happens that nobody can explain. The Brahmaputra river near the temple turns blood red. Not the whole river, just near the temple. Water flowing from the sacred spring inside turns red. White cloth placed on the stone before sealing comes out completely red after 3 days. Scientists say maybe it's iron rust or red minerals from the mountains. Some say red water plants. But they can't answer why exactly 3 days, why the same dates every year for over 1,000 years. Why does it match the moon calendar perfectly? I have met women who couldn't have children for years. They received the red cloth called Raktavastra and became mothers. They swear by this miracle. Over 25 lakh people gather during these 3 days. They don't come despite the goddess having periods. They come because she is having periods. In a world where periods are hidden, here they are celebrated as the most sacred time. This will shock you. Kamakya has no statue, no idol, nothing. When you enter the main prayer room, you go down narrow, dark steps. It's like entering a cave, like going into the earth's womb. And there in the darkness, lit only by oil lamps, you see it. A natural rock with a crack, shaped exactly like a yoni, the female private part. Through this crack, water constantly flows. The rock is always wet, always moist. Nobody knows where this water comes from. Even in dry weather, it never stops flowing. The Yogini Tantra says this is the most powerful symbol in the universe. Why? Because this is where all creation begins. This isn't a symbol of the goddess, this is the goddess. You know why this rock is here? The Kalika Purana tells us when Sati died, Lord Shiva carried her body and danced the Tandava. The universe started breaking apart. To save creation, Lord Vishnu cut her body into 51 pieces with his weapon. Where each piece fell, a Shakti Pita was born. But Kamakya is the most powerful. Why? Because here fell Sati's Yoni, the source of all life, the power of creation itself. That's why tantrics say without yoni worship, all prayers are useless. This is a place where life force is strongest, where creation happens every moment through that flowing water. Let me tell you about the red water mystery that even IIT scientists couldn't fully explain. The Brahmaputra is sometimes called the Red River because of iron in the soil. Fine. But explain this. Why does it turn clearly blood red for those exact 3 days in June? Not during other heavy rains, not when more mud should flow, only when the goddess has periods. Local priests told me something interesting. They say the chain starts from inside the temple. The spring water in the holy room turns red first, then it spreads to the river. How can water inside a cave affect a huge river outside? Families who have been going for generations collect this red water in bottles. They use it as medicine all year. They put it on wounds, they drink it when sick, they swear it has healing powers. The government has tested this water many times. Sometimes they find iron, sometimes they don't. The makeup keeps changing, but the timing never changes. Exactly 3 days. Same dates according to the moon calendar for over 1,000 years written down. For exactly 3 days, usually June 22nd to 25th, the temple completely shuts down. Here's a love story nobody tells you. The Kalika Purana says this temple was first built by a demon king, Narakasura. Why would a demon king build a goddess temple? Because he was madly in love with Kamakya Devi. Naraka was actually Lord Vishnu's son born when Vishnu took the boar form. But he became evil and powerful. He defeated all the gods. But when he saw Kamakya Devi, he fell in love instantly. He asked to marry her. The goddess knew his evil nature but couldn't say no directly. So she gave an impossible condition: build me a temple, a pond, a stone stairs from the river to this hilltop, all in one night. If you succeed, I will marry you. Naraka was so powerful he almost did it. As morning came near, he was almost done. The goddess panicked. She played a trick, made a rooster crow before actual sunrise. Naraka thought morning had come and stopped work. Those incomplete stairs still exist today, called Mekalauja Path in Darang district. After thousands of years, they are still standing, proof this isn't just a story. When scientists from Guwahati University did carbon dating in 2003, they found the bottom part of the temple is 2200 years old. That matches the timeline of these ancient stories. The Kalika Purana clearly states Kamakya is the most powerful among all the 51 Shaktipitas. But why? First, because what fell here was a yoni, the source of creation. Not a hand, not a toe, but the organ that creates life itself. Second, all the 10 Mahavidyas live here together. These are the most powerful forms of the goddess: Kali, Tara, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, Bagalmukhi, Matangi, and Kamala. No other place in the world has all 10. Third, the Kularnava Tantra says this is the world headquarters of Tantra. Every tantric must visit here at least once. Without Kamakya's blessings, their powers stay incomplete. Fourth, even gods come here for power. The Kalika Purana mentions that Kamadeva, the god of love, got his beauty back only after praying here. He was burned to ashes by Shiva's third eye, remember? He was brought back to life but without beauty. Only Kamakya could fix it. I know this is disturbing, but I must tell you the complete truth. Every day, one goat is killed as offering. During Durga Puja, 19 buffaloes. The Kalika Purana says this should happen. It's been happening for 2000 plus years. But here's what will give you chills. Locals swear that if goddess wants an animal, it walks to the altar by itself. No force needed. If she doesn't want it, even 10 people can't drag that animal there. I spoke to 3 families who saw this. They said the animal suddenly becomes calm, walks forward on its own, no fear in its eyes, as if it knows it's going home to the mother. The killing represents our ego dying, our animal nature being offered to become divine. It's not violence, it's change. That's why only male animals are usually killed, representing the ego that must die for spiritual growth. These aren't ancient stories, these happened today. The crystal sindoor, Kamakya sindoor, doesn't come as powder. It comes as small red crystals with shining particles. Nowhere else in the world you will find this. Sword dancing. During Deodan festival, possessed worshippers dance on sword blades. No cuts, no blood. How? The moving cloth. People tie knots in the red cloth while making wishes. If the goddess accepts, the knot opens by itself. I've seen videos of this happening. Pregnancy miracles. I personally know 4 women who couldn't get pregnant for years. After drinking the temple spring water, they became mothers. Coincidence? 4 times? The eternal spring, that water flowing from the Yoni stone, it never stops, even in the worst dry weather. Where does it come from? Underground water? Then why doesn't it dry like other wells? Here's a 500-year-old curse that still works today. King Naranarayan of the Koch dynasty rebuilt this temple in 1565. His priest told him that Kamakya Devi takes human form every night and dances in the holy room. The king was curious. He made a small hole in the wall to peek. When the goddess found out, her anger was terrible. She immediately cut off the head of the priest who told her secret. Then she cursed the entire Koch royal family. None of your children will ever be able to look at my temple. Even today, 500 years later, Koch descendants pass the temple with umbrella over their heads looking down. They are still afraid to look directly at the temple. Imagine a curse that works after 5 centuries. Let me clear this confusion. Men are not banned from Kamakya. Men can visit 362 days a year. Only during those 3 days of Ambubachi, when the goddess has periods, only female priests serve the inner holy room. That's it. But here's the amazing thing. While most temples ban women during periods, Kamakya celebrates the goddess's period. What we are taught to hide here is the most sacred event of the year. The temple challenges every taboo. It says women's bodies are divine, not dirty. The process that creates life deserves worship, not shame. Scientists have tried everything to explain Kamakya's mysteries. Rock experts studied the stones. Water experts tested the water. Plant experts checked for water plants. Chemical experts studied the blood. They found partial answers. Yes, there's iron. Yes, there are red minerals. Yes, certain water plants turn red. But they can't explain why exactly 3 days. Why the same moon dates for 1,000+ years. How does sealed cloth turn red? Why does the spring never dry? How do animals walk to death willingly? Why do women who can't have babies get pregnant after visiting? Maybe some mysteries aren't meant to be solved by science. Maybe faith begins where logic ends. You know what Kamakya really teaches us? The Devi Mahatyam says beautifully, the goddess exists in all beings as the power of creation. She who bleeds is she who gives life. In a world that shames women's bodies, here's a temple that worships the female organ, that celebrates periods, that says the bloodiest process is the most sacred one. Whether you believe the goddess literally bleeds or think it's just minerals, the message stays amazing. Women's bodies are divine. The process of creation is holy. What society calls dirty is actually the source of all purity. These mysteries I shared today, they are not just stories. Millions have seen them, experienced them, been changed by them. Kamakya isn't just a temple. It's a proof that the divine feminine isn't separate from the physical feminine. The goddess doesn't hide her biology, she celebrates it. If these mysteries amazed you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe someone who's been made to feel ashamed. Maybe someone who's lost faith. Maybe someone who thinks God is only in the heaven. Tell me in the comments which mystery shocked you the most. Have you experienced any miracles at Kamakya? Remember, the mother doesn't judge whether you're pure or dirty by society standards, whether you believe or doubt. She bleeds for all of us. She creates through all of us. Jai Ma Kamakya. Which temple's mystery should we explore next? Comment below and subscribe to Temple Girl for more stories that'll give you goosebumps.